After relations between the US and India deteriorated, Paki Sharma and Arnab Goswami produced numerous videos mocking Trump, not targeting the US as a nation, but criticizing Trump for being foolish and arrogant. In fact, mainstream media in most countries do not openly mock foreign leaders. Even South Korean reports on North Korean leader Kim Jong-un avoid personal attacks. Although India and China have long had tense relations and have been in a state of confrontation for an extended period, Indian mainstream media rarely launch personal attacks on China's current leader. So why has Trump, once hailed by Indians as a savior, a messenger of light, and described by Paki as having a deep personal friendship with Modi, been subjected to customized insults by Indian media? In this video, we will discuss the special treatment Trump has received from Indian media. Regardless of the relationship between China and India, Xi Jinping, as China's leader, is closely tied to China's national policies and diplomatic will, as are Putin and the heads of state of other countries. Therefore, criticizing these leaders is essentially no different from criticizing their countries diplomatically. However, personal attacks on national leaders violate international diplomatic etiquette, making such actions counterproductive. Indian media's attitude toward the US is highly complex. For the 11 years since Modi came to power, India has been acting as a loyal guard dog for the US, providing its own resources and actively helping the US contain China. The Modi government and Gaudiya media have repeatedly promoted the shared values of the two largest democratic nations, convincing Indians that Americans view them as allies and respect them. This belief grew stronger as Indian immigrants flooded into the US, dominating Silicon Valley and producing numerous Indian-origin CEOs, leading Indians to firmly believe they are trusted allies of the US. As a result, the US has always enjoyed a positive image in India. Suddenly attacking the US and portraying it as a bully would be akin to slapping the Modi government and Gaudiya media in the face, undermining their credibility. However, the current reality is that the US not only refuses to provide resources to India, but also wields the tariff stick to beat India. Indians have suddenly realized they are not honored guests of the US and do not even qualify as guard dogs. They know Americans love dogs and that abusing pets is illegal. No one would dare openly beat their guard dog with a stick. Yet the US has publicly humiliated India on a global stage, with Trump and his colleagues openly insulting Modi, while Americans turn a blind eye, and no one stands up to support India. In this situation, India must rally domestic forces to resist. You cannot resist a friendly nation, can you? Therefore, in media propaganda, they must separate Trump from the US, creating an imaginative space for the public. The US still shares India's democratic values, but Trump, a tyrannical president, is persecuting Modi and India, not the American people as a whole. The benefits of this approach are obvious. Modi, the BJP government, and Gaudiya media's clowns do not need to apologize for their pro-US stance over the past decade, even after such humiliation from the US. They can pin the blame on Trump alone. This allows them to continue promoting India's democratic values and deceiving voters. Another key driver is that Modi and the BJP government are constantly hoping to reconcile with the US. If they cannot achieve this during Trump's term, they will wait him out. In short, India can oppose Trump but cannot oppose its master, the US. If Modi surrenders to the US during Trump's term, they can explain it as a concession to a democratic ally, not submission to Trump's dominance. This preserves Modi's tough political image, despite this skirt-wearing man inwardly fearing the US's immense national power. Moreover, Trump is indeed one of the most shameless politicians in American history. Under the MAGA banner, he frantically enriches his family and donors. Facing debt pressure, he tries to offset losses through tariffs, a move akin to drinking poison to quench thirst. He shows no gratitude toward longtime allies or India, a guard dog that provides its own resources. Instead, he repeatedly humiliates and extorts them. His vice president, Vance, even questioned why Zelensky did not say thank you, despite Ukraine suffering hundreds of thousands of deaths for the US. without the U.S. persuading Ukraine to abandon nuclear weapons, instigating a color revolution, and provoking Russia, Ukraine would not be mired in prolonged conflict with Russia, with half its population fleeing and its economy collapsing. The U.S. used Ukraine to weaken and strike Russia, yet demanded gratitude from Zelensky. This is arguably the most shameless government in human history. However, the U.S. has maintained a minimum level of respect toward Ukraine. After Zelensky agreed to mortgage mineral resources, Trump invited him to visit the White House again, and the journalist who once questioned why he did not wear a suit apologized to him in person. This is akin to a master beating a guard dog and then offering a new kin of food as an apology. India, however, has not been so fortunate. Honestly, India has made significant sacrifices for the U.S. To help the U.S. counter China, India faced humiliation in the Galwan Valley clash and the India-Pakistan air conflict, and China restricted rare earths, urea, industrial machinery, and engineering equipment, even barring technical workers from traveling to India. Biden and previous U.S. administrations generally acknowledged India's role as a guard dog, including it in Quad, inviting Modi to G7 and other Western events to stroke his ego, maintaining lenient policies toward Indian immigration, and granting India certain tariff preferences. Modi believed that with Trump in power and escalating tensions between the U.S. and China, India's value would increase, and the standard of resources provided would rise. Yet Trump, a political thug, looks down on India. Not only did he refuse to support India in the India-Pakistan air conflict, but he also repeatedly confirmed publicly that India lost 5 to 7 fighter jets. This severely crossed the line for Modi and the BJP, as they have two core political principles: promoting Hindu extremism and oppressing Muslims. These are political ideologies inherited from the RSS and a key reason for the BJP's long-term rule. Claims of protecting farmers and businesses are nonsense. To serve as the U.S.'s guard dog, Modi has disregarded India's national interests, repeatedly betraying BRICS and the global South, making India an international pariah. The one issue that angers Modi is Pakistan. He must maintain a tough image against Islamic nations, convincing Hindus that his Sindh action was a success, not a miserable failure. Modi relies on lies to craft a strong image and promote India's fabricated successes. Revelations by others are inconsequential, but denial by the U.S. president is a devastating blow Modi cannot bear. For over a decade, U.S. propaganda has portrayed the U.S. as representing justice and correctness. Now, humiliated by the U.S. president, Modi must negate the U.S. president, not the U.S., to reconcile this contradiction. If Modi and BJP media fully negate the U.S., it would mean admitting they made a massive diplomatic mistake over the past decade, requiring accountability or even resignation. If they do not negate the U.S. and continue promoting its correctness, they cannot explain why the U.S. president repeatedly humiliates India, exposing the BJP's fabrications and boasts. Their only option is to separate the U.S. president from the U.S., attacking Trump's foolishness and arrogance while leaving room to serve the U.S. again in the future. This is truly the great Bharat wisdom. Ordinary countries could not devise such a brilliant strategy.